Hello, it is NoodleHouse here and we are back on Chaos Child. Time to continue. I went to Uki's room to hide before the police officer got here and found Yuto curled up asleep on her bed. He must have been crying for a long time because he was red around the eyes. I could see tear marks on his cheeks. Uki was sitting on the bed, softly holding his hand. She'd probably been like that for a long time. It seems a very natural thing for her to do. Being a good big sister, aren't you? No, I'm still not. Her voice was soft and kind, so as not to wake Yukito. But there was loneliness mixed in her words. Oh. I could see that she was looking at a photo on the desk. It was a picture of Yui and Uki, and I couldn't tell when it was taken. Yui was hugging Uki from behind and pressing her cheek up against Uki's blushing face. I thought about the person who'd taken this fake picture. If it wasn't one they'd taken themselves, someone had to have taken it. It wasn't Yuto. If Yuto was there, he'd be standing in between the two of them. And Dad wasn't into taking photographs, which meant it was probably Nono. I could tell what Uki was thinking when she looked at it. She was thinking about when Nono had taken the picture. We're leaving tonight, are you ready? Yes, I guess. But I don't understand. Neither did I. It wasn't that I don't know what to take. I didn't know what was happening to me. I hadn't even been told where we were going except that we were leaving Shibuya. We're just leaving for a while. I don't think there's anything to worry about. Okay. Uki smiled just a little at Arimura's attempt to make her feel better. Are you okay with this? Sure am. I didn't want to go on the trip. She was joking around, probably because Uki was here. I felt like old times. I smiled a little. Of course she wasn't okay. She was leaving the town where she lived, with no notice at all. And she was leaving because someone wanted to kill her. What do you call this anyway? Jumping on the bandwagon? Banding on a wagon? No. That second one doesn't even make any sense. I suddenly realised that Kazuki was here in the corner of the room, chewing dried squid. Hadn't seen that in a while either. It was kind of a relief. Hana, you'll wake up Yuto. I wonder if you have enough clothes. If I have enough clothes. I guess I have to buy some. Arimura tugged at her outfit as she spoke. Arimura, if you like. If you like, you can use Nono's. They're in her room. Huh? Arimura froze. She clearly didn't know what to say. No, but that's... It's right, Takuru? I was a little surprised. For a moment, she looked like Nono or Yui. She probably decided that she'd protect Yuto, and that she was trying to be a big sister like they were. I nodded to both of them. Yeah. Nono hated to waste anything, no matter how small. Would you take them? But you... I'm fine. Arimura seemed a little surprised, but her face finally took on a serious expression. I understand, I'll take them. Thank you. Yeah. Arimura ran over to Nono's room to get the clothes before the policeman came over. I decided I should probably check if there were any clothes left in my room, then stood up. I'm leaving Shibuya. I tried to leave the room quietly so as not to wake up Yuto, and then I stopped. I asked you this yesterday, but during the earthquake, what did you wish for? If that wish was what real boosted her, what did you want from her? I remember what Kunosato had just said. I looked around, as if to try and find anything to answer the puzzle that I couldn't solve. And I saw Uki holding Yuto's hand as he softly moaned in pain. No. I don't have to know, do I? I don't have to think about things I don't know. This is the right thing to do. If I endured that headache long enough, I could probably find the answer. But I gave up and left Uki's room to go get ready together instead. To go get ready instead. Fuck me, words are hard. Next day, okay. Interesting. Or is it next day? No, it might be the next day. I can't remember what day it is. Whatever. A little after 4 PM. 7 hours had passed since the beginning of the festivities, and even as the sun began to set, they showed no signs of slowing down. Lines had started forming in front of every food stand and restaurant around lunchtime, and they were all still packed. There were over 30 concerts, from huge 1,000-seat venues with major artists to tiny little bars with only a dozen or seats. There's meant to be a "so" in there. Each one was standing room only. Guerrilla performance artists would approach the crowds hoping to attract customers, and in turn attract crowds of their own. Over 80,000 people were still in attendance at the festival, which had gone far beyond the organisers' wildest expectations. There were the usual issues associated with big events, like minor fights or lost children, but there had been no major problems so far. The police from Shibuya Station helped keep things safe, but the biggest factor was the volunteer staff. The organisers had been recruiting volunteers up until the last minute to handle the crowds, keeping everyone safe and in the mood to spend money. Many of the volunteers were victims of the original disaster, and the experience they gained in Earthquake had taught them how to get along and work with other people. When a major band had made a surprise appearance at the stage in front of the 107, there was a mild panic, but the volunteers formed a human wall to keep people in the crowd safe. Today's the day to celebrate the restoration. We can't have anyone trampled to death. That's what the leader of the volunteers had said to an interviewer who happened to be at the scene. He was an honest and sincere man. He was speaking from the heart, and he didn't mean anything more than what he'd said. But his words brought to mind a certain name and a certain face, both among the people who had saw him on TV and among those who'd heard him directly. The word that made me think of that name was, of course, death. What's with those guys? Those are the guys in the news have been talking about all day. Everyone there was hoping for a festival to succeed, but at the same time, they hadn't caused a big problem yet, but there was one big concern on everyone's mind. When a girl and her boyfriend left Shibuya Station heading for the stage at the Cultural Hall, they saw a group of people wearing eerie masks. There were over a dozen of them, and then another group came from another direction. Suddenly there were several dozen. Identical masks, identical t-shirts, the faces of two fat men overlapping. It was... the sumo stickers. They said nothing, but anyone who got close, whether by accident or because they wanted to get a picture, would flinch away as they heard the eerie sound created as the sumos breathed beneath their masks. The man at the end of the group looked around and then approached a nearby streetlight. Then he took something out of his pocket and stuck it on the light. It was a sumo sticker. The owner of a nearby crepe stall saw this and frowned, but was too scared by their appearance to say anything. He quickly went back to dealing with his customer. It was something he'd seen again and again since the festival started. The only ones who saw it were people like him, who stood in one place the whole day as they ran their business. The majority of the attendees caught up in the flowing crowd saw nothing. But if you were to take all the stickers placed on the ground, on the decorations, on the streetlights, on the walls, you'd have enough to cover the huge TVs at Shibuya Scramble Crossing. The stickers were slowly taking over, spreading even to places where no one could see them. They were like a physical manifestation of all negative emotions that lurked within the attendees. It was about 3 hours later, around 7:30 PM, when they finally exploded. It happened at the place It happened at the place that had been set up for a silent prayer that would end the festival. Right in front of the memorial. I can't see. Move. Wait, seriously? Is that him? Die, murderer. It's Miyashiro. Takuru Miyashiro has appeared in front of the memorial. Has he? A little after 9 PM, Serika arrived at the Hikariwo. Most of the attendees had gone elsewhere, and it wasn't busy as it had been earlier in the day. She looked around and listened to the thoughts of the passers-by. Man, fuck that Miyashiro guy. Is he really going to kill himself somewhere? He didn't just run. I hope he does it soon. I can't go home until I see whether he kills himself or not. Not that I care which, really. Fucking wrong-siders. I did that in the wrong voice, but whatever. Serika whispered as she listened to the worthless thoughts around her. The couple a few feet away glanced over at her but quickly turned away. Serika closed her eyes so she could concentrate only on the thoughts around her. As of 9 PM, all the concerts and street performances as well as a few of the stalls were closing up. The festival was nearing its end. After this, the attendees would gather at the specified time for a moment of silent prayer, and then the festival would be over. The crowd seemed to be heading towards the station and the memorial. There were too many people still here for them to all fit in the memorial plaza, so the big VIPs as well as the families of the victims of the quake would gather at the memorial itself, while everyone else would watch the proceedings on the TVs in front of the station. Sakuma probably plans to reveal Miyashiro's body at the memorial after he kills him, doesn't he? Both the TVs in front of the station and the memorial park were near the Hikariwo, but the park was just a little closer. And anything that happened at the park would be replayed for the people watching on TV. In other words, more people would see it. That means from before, probably part of his plan. Several hours ago, she heard that Miyashiro appeared in front of the memorial, but she quickly learned that that report was mistaken. It was a fake. A man pretending to be Miyashiro who worshipped him as a messiah, but the man himself had looked nothing like Miyashiro. Yet for some reason the media had decided to report as Takuru Miyashiro himself appearing at the memorial. As a result, security around the park and plaza had been strengthened. And as a result of that, another rumour was spreading, this time that Miyashiro would be appearing there. It was almost certainly part of Sakuma's plot. Serika opened her eyes and rubbed her stomach as if to check on her injury. It had been almost 24 hours since Sakuma had sliced open her stomach. She still wasn't in top shape. She had lost a lot of blood, and the dull pain in her head that resulted from resisting Sakuma's powers would come back the second she let her guard down. This had been the result of her attacking him in top form last night. She'd survived working with the committee this long, so she couldn't shake her logical and very realistic doubts. Could she really kill Sakuma? Takuru Miyashiro. A thought suddenly came into her mind and she frowned suspiciously. That was strange. She hadn't been trying to read anyone's mind. It was from somewhere in her field of vision. Come out, entertain me. Die in a really cool way. Negative thoughts flowed into her mind, one after another. They were strong and vast in number. It was as if someone had combined all the final thoughts of all the people she'd killed. It's those people. She forced herself to look in the direction of the thoughts, and saw the group wearing the sumo sticker masks. She tried to squeeze them out of her mind, but they slipped past her and echoed in her head once more. Takuru Miyashiro. Come out, entertain me. Die in a really cool way. Only strong thoughts and desires could create this effect. It was as if these feelings had formed into one single strong emotion, a desire for Takuru Miyashiro to appear. For the first time in a very, very long time, Serika was terrified. She could feel herself break out into a cold sweat. Her logical and realistic doubts vanished. It didn't matter if she was capable of killing him or not. She had to kill him. Miyashiro had to survive. And for that, Sakuma had to die, and soon. It's about time, huh? She looked at her phone and saw it was past 9:30 PM. Everyone inside the theatre had probably been led out. Shibuya, the Hikariwo building, the 11th floor. The entrance to the theatre cube. This room was the entrance to the office floor, and it was always crowded with people. but now there was no one here save a lone employee and a single security guard. The festival event in the theatre had finished up at 9 PM, and there were no other plans to use it. It doesn't seem right. The whole floor was lit up, giving a classy design, an elegant atmosphere. It didn't match at all with what was about to happen inside the theatre, because by the time this was over, one of them would be dead on the floor. Sarika stood in front of the convenience store on the floor and waited for the time to come. There was no sign of Sakuma, but then a little after 10 PM, she realised something was wrong. The employee and security guard at the front desk suddenly started to leave. They dropped what they were carrying and began to stagger out, as if they weren't thinking about anything. And I'm going to end the episode here. If you liked this video, don't forget to leave a like in the section below, and if you want to see more of this, then do subscribe to the channel as I upload every day. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.